It was a scheme that cost some victims their life savings. It also is a case of broken trust. Tonight, it will cost two local men their freedom. Investigative reporter Chris Negus was in the courtroom as victims pleaded for justice.
Bill, is there anything you want to say before going into federal court today? Not a word from Bill Glazer on his way into federal court. The former financial advisor arrived to hear his fate for his role in a scheme that directed the life savings of victims like Frank Steinberger into the hands of another man, Paul Krieger.
Why aren't you a better reporter?
Why am I not a better reporter? Okay, what's been wrong? What have we gotten wrong?
Where'd the money go? Who has money?
Good question. Krieger also arrived in federal court and, just like he's done in the past, blamed someone else. Krieger is accused of living a lavish lifestyle off the backs of investors.
He has stolen over $3 million from us. My husband was going to retire in 2020, and that's not going to happen.
Carla Lewis and her husband thought they were investing in Krieger's business, Everett Builders, which left a trail of angry subcontractors and customers in its wake. And speaking of wake, Krieger was off buying a yacht, an expensive lake house, and flashy cars, including a Bentley. Carla's mom, Diane Gibson, remembers Krieger asking her to pose in front of it.
And then he bragged about his car and his new house and his yacht. And that was the first time I met him, and I learned all of this within the first 30 minutes.
Eventually, the bottom fell out, debts went unpaid, assets got repossessed, and people like Lewis were left holding the bag, along with victims like Frank, who lost more than $400,000 after his financial planner directed his retirement savings to Krieger. Frank claims he didn't even know Krieger. Today, Glazer got 3 years and told the judge he's sorry and that he has lost everything.
He says, I lost everything. I don't care if it's his own damn fault. He got greedy and it backfired on him, and he deserves what he gets. Simple as that.
Glazer will report to prison at a later date. He was represented by Scott Rosenblum.
You know, as I said, I think that, what you start out, what your intentions are when you start out, they don't always end up that way. And, there was a lot of blame to go around. I'm not going to comment any further than that.
As for Krieger, he went into court. So are you saying you didn't take this money?
I had all the money invested, so that's that.
But he never came out. U.S. Marshals hauled him off to serve a 6.5-year sentence, the maximum allowed under federal guidelines. Lewis was happy to see him go.
He wanted to live a lifestyle that he could not afford, and he thought he could use other people's money to live this ridiculous lifestyle.
In court, victims were allowed to read impact statements. One of Krieger's victims called him a con artist of epic proportions. For his role in the scheme, Krieger was ordered to pay more than $3.3 million in restitution. Bill Glazer was ordered to repay more than $1.4 million. Chris Negus, News 4 investigates.